You don't get to choose whether you compete. You do get to choose whether you dominate. Let's be honest. Competition isn't optional. In business, we compete for position and influence. In sports, we compete for roles and execution. In life, we compete against distraction, decline, and time. If you're breathing, you're competing against someone or something, whether you like it or not. But dominance, that's a decision. It's built on action, not intention. It's not about chasing down more accolades or flexing your income. It's about stepping out from behind the desk and stepping back into the arena of real life, where strength supports your leadership, where discipline sharpens your presence, and where your capacity determines the fulfillment you'll create for yourself, for your family, for the ones that you lead. Because dominance goes far beyond the boardroom, shows up in the home, in your standards, and in the people that you impact. And that's why the hybrid human method exists. Disorder has consequences. The hybrid human method is about restoring order and enhancing purpose. We build a strong foundation of physical authority, reconstructing the body through strength, power, conditioning, and recovery to meet the demands of your calling. We sharpen the man that you're meant to be, rooted in faith, family leadership, and financial strength. Forget about motivation, forget about self-help, and stop chasing random workouts. This is the work that will build command, control, and lasting impact. This is realignment. Your body, your discipline, your identity, completely rebuilt to operate at full capacity. This is for the men that are ready to go all in, to step out of comfort and carry the weight they were built for. You're winning professionally. That's not even the issue. The issue is what's happening outside of that. Your body no longer reflects your position. Your energy is spent before the day is, and your discipline fades when no one applauds. And that gap compounds. So let me be clear. This isn't for convenience. This is for the man willing to meet his standards everywhere, not just where he's paid to perform. To lead with strength at home, to build with intention, and to carry what's been entrusted to him. Not drift, not split standards, not win in public and lose in private. This is your standard. Own it. This is where most driven men unknowingly sabotage themselves. You're used to figuring it out alone, so you train the same way that you work. Try to add in more intensity, more output, more force, but you can't outwork misalignment. You're making high-level decisions all day, then guessing when it comes to your body. Well, this leads to inconsistent training, reactive recovery, and no progression model. More effort isn't the answer. Precision is. Your business runs on systems. Your body should too. Without one, you don't plateau. You operate below optimal capacity. This is where performance is proven. Most men train on feeling. High performers train on data. Your results, or lack of them, will define you. We track key markers, such as strength, recovery, energy, and body composition, just to name a few. Each metric guides how you show up every single day. Because what you ignore steadily declines. Nothing here is random or reactive, but everything is intentional and accounted for. Because when performance is deliberate, results multiply. I know what it's like to be overexposed and underdeveloped. I've won big, but I also ignored what mattered most. Overexposed in some areas, underdeveloped in others. Success in the wrong places cost me success in the right ones. I had to realign with who I am, more importantly, whose I am, and the impact that I want to leave. As a husband, father, and ambassador of Christ, I help men reclaim their dominance, aligning body, mind, and life to maximize their calling. I'm going to ask you a question I had to ask myself. Are you currently building a life that your family will thank you for, or one that they'll have to recover from? One that lasts beyond transactions, titles, or wins. Command starts the moment excuses stop. Phase 1 is all about reestablishing authority over your identity, your standards, and your behaviors. This is where we'll rebuild your foundation physically and align it with the man that you say that you're becoming. We'll implement personalized strength and recomposition by building muscle, losing fat, and maintaining strength, tailored completely to your body, your goals, your life. Not generic templates, not random YouTube workouts, and definitely not watered down ChatGPT programming. Next, we'll restore your performance by correcting imbalances, rebuilding movement efficiency, and safely developing speed, power, and endurance. This isn't random training. This is strategic restoration. Because when your body reflects discipline, everything else becomes aligned. Confidence rises, presence sharpens, leadership steadies. In Matt's situation, we installed simple nutritional protocols, structured training around his life, and set daily non-negotiable standards tied to his identity. The outcome? He reclaimed command. His energy rose, his confidence returned, and he was able to lead his family and business from a place of structure, not survival. What drains the body eventually drains everything else. Phase 2 is about elimination, not hustle, not adding more, but it's removing what's quietly compromising your leadership, your health, and your relationships. This is where we seek to eliminate any physical or behavioral excess that's killing your performance because you can't scale chaos. But this is where removal enforces precision. We'll simplify and optimize your body and life by using lab data, regulating sleep and stress load, and aligning nutrition to restore resilience, increase energy, and sharpen focus. With Phil, that meant transitioning from heavy powerlifting to season-appropriate programming, reducing alcohol to support his marriage and his health, inserting nutritional habits to meet his work and travel schedule, as well as implementing consistent lab monitoring of his testosterone, his recovery, and his overall health. The outcome? Phil lost 25 pounds, medications were reduced, clarity restored, marriage strengthened, stress dropped, and Phil was able to lead his body, business, and finances with intention. Power only matters if it's repeatable. Phase 3 is about stabilization, not motivation, not intensity, but consistency under pressure. Our objective is to build consistency in your health so your leadership, provision, and presence remains predictable regardless of the circumstances. Because intensity without consistency is instability. Here, training becomes structured around longevity, nutrition becomes consistent before advanced protocols, and recovery and stress regulations are built in so energy, focus, and decisions stay steady. Because when your body's stable, your leadership is stable. We don't chase results, we build reliability. Greg's outcome? Over 20 pounds down. Lean muscle gained. Confidence restored. Insecurity was replaced with execution, and his body, his mindset, and his leadership stabilized. If you want authority, you must expand your capacity. Phase 4 is about expansion, not doing more, but becoming capable of carrying more. Our objective is to scale performance and leadership capacity without burnout, aligning output to responsibility. We'll increase strength and force output. We'll speed up recovery. We'll build durability so performance holds under pressure. Training intensities will match leadership demands. Recovery will protect output. And execution becomes engineered, not emotional. No more burnout cycles. No more emotional spikes. No crashes. Just controlled expansion. In Luther's situation, Luther's strength, conditioning, and recovery capacity elevated. His energy stabilized under operational stress. His presence and decision-making skills sharpened. And his body matched the level of command he was entrusted to carry. Don't take my word for it. These men aren't only talking about workouts. They're talking about clarity, structure, confidence, leadership, and alignment. Because when the physical stops becoming a liability, it becomes an asset, everything else follows. This is your last call. A man who neglects himself eventually neglects those he leads. And if you don't control the system, you won't control the outcome. Book your private call. Get clear on your mission. Install a proven system tested under pressure by some of the world's top performers. This is where you realign. This is where you become a hybrid human.